Hello, hello. Happy Sunday, everyone. I just wanted to start the live early so that you guys know that I'm here today and I'm going to be on time, even though I'm a little early. Um, Please don't mind my hair because, today was a day where I did a lot of organizing and cleaning. So, yeah, let's try to put that back in a ponytail because this hair is just everywhere. So I hope everyone had a good Sunday. My Sunday was pretty productive. Before I start getting all into it, I want to welcome everyone back to the channel. My goodness. Even with sister locks, my hair still gets tangled. It's stuck together just as it would if I had loose hair. All right, there we go. Whew. It's just getting longer and longer. So I like it best in a ponytail. All right. So yeah, I did a lot of organizing today. So let me see if I can try to show you guys. So here, I had an issue with closet storage. It was just freaking terrible. So what I did was I made room for my paper to go on each side of my printer. Printer's there. And my business tax receipts, I have them now on the wall. Let me see if I can show you guys my wall in front of me. I can. So this is the wall in front of me, right? And there is my business tax receipts. Okay. So those are there now. So when my customers come in, they'll see them. And then on this wall, I just have my certificates. And then let's see if I can try to show you guys my closet. My closet is my biggest accomplishment, okay? Because that closet was a doozy. So I'm going to see if I can show y'all. Let me see. Okay. There's my closet now. Have to move my chair out the way. In my closet, you can't really see it. So let me see if I can point you guys in that way. I'll show you out my closet. So my closet is clear now. Like before I had boxes and everything, and don't mind that cord. It's connected to a bag that's hanging up there. But everything is in order now, and it wasn't before. So I'm so happy now. I can just go and grab a pack of paper as opposed to having to pick up boxes. And then here I have my toners and my drum. Yeah. So I'm pretty freaking happy with how that looks now. Okay. Had to get my stuff in order, y'all, because having an organized office for me is ideal. Okay. Because I cannot operate if I don't have things in order. So yeah, I just wanted to show y'all my office real quick since I'm here early today. But what we're going to be talking about today is common notary questions from Facebook groups. So I'm going to answer them. Okay. Oh, my hair, it looks frizzy, but it's not. It's just, you got my gray hairs and everything up there, but I don't have a lot of gray hair, by the way. Thank God. But they are there. And yeah, I think it looks just frizzy because you're seeing the top of my head. That's what happens when I wash it. It looks a little more fluffier. And then it's so freaking long now. Look at that. Ugh. All right. 8:29. Let me see. I have to pull up, as always, my talking points because I want to make sure that I stay on topic. Okay. Let's see. Retry. I was about to say, oh crap. I am cold. Oh, it's so cold in my house. I cannot wait to get a hot shower and hit the bed. Have a busy day. I have a busy week, which I'm grateful for, by the way. Not going to complain about that. All right, let me see. Let me see. Yes, this is it here. This is what I want to talk about. All right. Okay. Sounds like my clothes stopped washing. I hope that hubby puts them in the dryer for me. Here we are. All right, I love it. YouTube live 9/7/25. All right. All right, it's 8:31, so I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it. And then when you guys join, please do tell me your name and where you're tuning in from, because I absolutely love to see who is watching and listening to me. All right, so again, welcome to the channel, all right, or welcome back for those of you who are frequent watchers. My name is Burjo, also known as B. Elise. I am the owner of B. Elise Notary Services, as well as the founder and president of the Notary Education Group. I was trying to change the time that I come on Sundays, but I do, for the most part, come live on the channel every Sunday. And the time is going to be 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I was trying to make the time earlier, but I found that that would not work for my busy schedule, because on Sundays I'm getting the kids ready for the week. I'm getting myself ready for the week. And with school starting back up, that is very important for me to do. So I'm sorry I won't be able to come on here earlier for you guys. But what you can do is, if you are rewatching this live, just let me know that you are by leaving a comment. All right. As always, if anything I say on the videos of any of my videos are helpful to you and you think that it will be helpful to others, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel so that you will be notified whenever I go live, and share. All right. Don't forget, sharing is caring, guys. So let's get into it. So I wanted to talk about common notary questions, all right, that I see in notary Facebook groups. Okay, I come across so many on a constant basis, and I like to look at the comments to see how people are answering. And it's always, I won't say funny or disturbing, I guess maybe surprising, some of the answers that I see, because people really don't take into account where the person is commissioned. And, you know, a lot of people really don't come from a place of help. They really just try to impose on you what they do and how they do it, and basically say you should do it the way they do it. And that's really not helpful to anybody. All right. So one of the first questions I want to talk about is, what should I ask at my first signing? All right. So you finally get your first signing and you've been assigned, right? So what are some questions that you want to ask? Well, you want to ask, does the person have valid ID? You want to ask if all signers will be present at the time of the signing. You want to ask, where am I coming to you? Or if you already have the address, you want to confirm the address, because, we're all human. Sometimes the person who assigned the signing to you, maybe they got the address wrong, the city wrong, the zip. I've had that happen to me before, and I will say more than once, where they'll put a different city, and I'm thinking I'm game for that. And then I call and the person is in a different city based on the zip code, because how sometimes the zip codes can go to more than one city. Well, that difference cost me an extra 40-minute drive. So you definitely want to confirm that. And you just want to give them any additional instructions based on the type of signing. So if you're going to be doing a HELOC or a refinance, even a purchase. Sometimes they have that US, not some, well, yeah, sometimes, because I've seen it where it doesn't. They have the US Patriot Act form, and it asks for two, sometimes one type of ID. If it's one type of ID, you're good. But if it's two types of ID, you want to make sure that the person knows one can have a photo, one cannot. And I do have this information listed in my signing agent certification course. All right. So I won't go all into the extra details of that, but you do want to give them any special instructions that were provided to you so that when you get there, your customer is already ready and prepared. All right. Because the worst thing that has happened to me is you get there and people are not ready. And so before you can even start signing anything, they're running around looking for stuff and all this, or you could be mid signing and they got to get up and go and look for stuff. So having the customer be prepared before you get there is ideal. Okay, it's going to help you with your time management so that if you have any other appointments after that one, you will be able to make it. Okay, you don't want to turn a 30 to 40-minute appointment into an hour and a half simply because you forgot to have the customer be prepared. Okay. So that is some of the questions you should ask at your first signing. I also have a, what do you call it? It's like a bubble chart, I think, that I made maybe a year or two ago, and it has all of the questions that you would ask a customer to qualify them for your services. Okay. Sometimes you'll get customers that will call and, hi, playing in my yard. Oh, you use an intake form. Okay, yeah. Well, same thing. Intake form or, any type of bubble chart. I think I have, it's a bubble chart and an intake form. I have either or. But having that when you first start out will help you to stay efficient. Okay, so that way you're not forgetting stuff because you don't want to arrive and then they're not ready, you know? So, yeah. So that's question one. What should I ask at my first signing? All right. Second question that I see all the time. I just got commissioned. What's my next step? Well, it depends. Okay. When you became commissioned, was it for a job or is it because you are looking to earn a little extra dough? Are you looking to become an entrepreneur? Do you want to create a business? That's really the question. Okay. So you get commissioned and we want to know, okay, your next step is based on what you're trying to do. When you know what you're trying to do, then the next steps will be based on that. So if you're trying to go the business route, then you want to look at how you want to register your business. All right. What do you want to do? Do you want to do fictitious name, which is just a DBA? Do you want to do an LLC, which is a limited liability company? Is it you and another person going into business? Maybe you want to do a partner limited liability company. Maybe you want to go the corporate route. There you go. You got to figure it out. Once you figure that out, then you're going to want to go by a different name other than your name if you're not going the fictitious, if you're going to register a business. Now, you do have some people, they just use their name, that they add maybe notary public behind it. But some people like to get creative. So if you are going to use your name, chances are there won't be a lot of people, but if you got a comment like me, my name is Berjo Elise Fully Love. I am the only one of me, so I can literally use that as my business name. Excuse me. You have some people who have more common names, so it may be a little difficult if somebody else has that same name, and they already in the business. Hi, Ken. I will do so. Absolutely. Thanks for joining. And then once you decide that, now you got to do other research. You got to see if anybody else is using the name. You got to see if anybody else has that name registered on social media, domain, all of that stuff. Okay. So not going to get too much more into that because I do have a course that's free that you can go ahead and take a look at. And that's how to get your business started. Okay. I just have all of the videos I've done in the past put into one place so you don't have to search for it. And it's a free course. So you can go ahead and check it out at the notaryeducationgrp.com. You should see it going across the bottom of the screen there. All right. Now, before I get into my next question, somebody wanted to talk about Ron. Now, Ken, Ron is a very broad topic. So exactly what do you want to know about Ron? That will help me get started, because talking about Ron, that's a whole hour or more. So I need to know specifically what it is you want to know. And where are you located? That'll be another question, because depending on where you're located, you may not even have Ron available. So definitely important to know. So while I'm waiting for you to answer, I am going to jump into the next question, okay? So the next question I see a lot is, what fees can I charge as a notary? Now, most states already have this mandated, so it's not going to be hard for you to figure it out. Now, sometimes what can be confusing for people is, what other fees can they charge? Because, if they're somewhere like Georgia where it's $2 per stamp, then it's like, oh man, so if you got called for just a one stamp document, you're not going to want to leave the house for just $2, right? So you have travel fees, and well, I don't know what to charge for travel. Well, if it's not mandated in your state, you can go to the IRS website and you can start there. Okay, that'll be your basis. And then once you get used to the travel and how long and how far each place would be, then you can start coordinating your fees to reflect that. But right in the beginning, you don't really know. So I say start with the basics. Go to the IRS website, search the travel fees, and I think the travel fees right now is 67 cents for this year. So 67 cents a mile. Okay. For some people, they like to charge a flat rate. Some people like to charge a rate by city, by county. It's really up to you, but it's something that you have to figure out on your own. Okay. And you can start with that IRS rate. Hi, Stephanie. Happy Sunday. Me and my friend, we were talking. She's in another group in the Notary asked, how much can I charge to notarize 5 affidavits in Florida? So I'm a Florida notary, so we know the answer to this. $10 per stamp. If it's 5 affidavits, it's $10 per affidavit, which would be $50. But the notary was like, well, can I charge more? Well, okay, why do you want to charge more? Like, I get it. We all want to make money, but we're also in the business to where we want to build relationships to get continuous money. We don't want to just get that money one time and then we never see the person again. So it depends on exactly what you're trying to do. Now, he or she, I don't know who, but they disclosed that the customer will be coming to them. So then other people were saying, well, you could charge an appointment fee. Why are we charging fees for people to make appointments? When people come to my office, I do a lot of $10 signings where a person will come and do one document, especially because I'm around a lot of schools. So a lot of school documents, especially for sports, needs to get notarized. So I get customers all the time. They come to me, they just get one stamp and they're out. I just charge $10. Oh, well, you're not making no money. Yes, I am. Those same customers come to me over and over and over again. So I don't see a reason to be like, well, since you came to my office, it's an extra $5. No, the only time I charge extra is if I have to leave my house. Or if I do remote online notary, sometimes I will charge a platform fee depending on what platform I'm using. If I'm using one of the platforms where I don't have to pay additional fees per session, I'm not even going to charge them extra for that. I'm going to charge them the $25 flat rate for one stamp, one signer, and that's it. Okay, so my suggestion or recommendation to you is, please don't try to get rich off of every single person. The wealth comes in the repeated business. Okay. You need and you should be a person of integrity, and you should work and operate your business with transparency. And if customers feel that you're going to nickel and dime them for every little thing, then chances are you will not have that repeat business that you need in order to be a successful business. All right. Yes, Stephanie, that's what I said. What's an appointment fee? Like, I'm confused. Why is $50 for 7 to 10 minutes of your time not enough money? I'm confused, especially if they're coming to you. When I get people to come to me, they are never here for more than 10 minutes. And that's just for general notary. Now, if they're coming for something a little bit more, it may take a little longer, but people are never here in my office for more than maybe 20 minutes, maybe, or less. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. I've never worked a job that paid me $50 for 7 minutes of my time. Never. So I don't know. But everybody works their business the way they want to. I just think that you should be more focused on building your business and being the preferred go-to notary in your area, as opposed to trying to make a quick buck for every customer that you get. That's all I'm saying. Ken, did you figure out what questions you wanted me to answer regarding Ron? Next question. Do I have to keep a journal? You don't have to keep a journal. Should you keep a journal? Yes, you should. Why should you keep a journal? Because that is your proof of what you did, when you did it, and how you did it. If you have to recall any of your appointments with customers and the documents and what took place, your journal is the only way you're going to remember that, guys. Please be very mindful that it is best practice to keep a record of every document you put your stamp on and that you sign. We are not putting in our journal documents that were not signed and stamped. You're only putting in there what you signed and stamped. So if you have a $250 page signing and you notarize 5 pages, those 5 pages should be recorded in your journal. The customers who signed the documents in your presence, information should be recorded in the journal along with their signature and preferably their thumbprint, not unless you're in a state that does not allow. All right. This is going to help protect you down the line. All right. Now, everybody should have a bond and errors and omissions insurance, because the bond protects the public and the errors and omissions insurance protects you. But who the heck really wants to use it? Nobody wants to have to use it. We want to keep it, and have it to protect ourselves, but we don't want to ever have to use it. I don't ever want to have claims brought up on my E&O. So make sure that you are keeping record. Should you keep a journal? Yes. Every notary should have a journal unless their state says that they can't. And as of today, I do not know any state that says that you cannot have a journal. There are many states that says a journal is not required. My state, Florida, is one of them. But no state says that it is illegal for you to keep a journal for every notary act that you perform. All right, guys. Next question. And I don't know why this is a question, but when title uploads docs, do I still need to print them? Yes. Yes, you do. Not unless the instruction says that you don't have to print the documents, because this is going to be electronic signing, like a hybrid or something like that. But if title uploads the documents to a portal, or if they email you documents, then it is implied that you will download the documents and that you will print them out and take them with you to the appointment. Now, this is why it's important for us to read instructions. Okay. Like, for example, when I do closings for Mortgage Connect, sometimes it will tell me, please only print 1 copy, because the borrowers were sent a copy electronically. So then that means I don't have to waste paper. I can just print one copy and I can go. Then you do have some companies like ServiceLink that will specifically say that you need to print 2 copies. So this is why you need to read the instructions for each order that you receive. And furthermore, if you get a call from a person who was told to find a notary to get documents signed, sometimes those documents will have instructions, so go ahead and read them. If they don't have instructions and you have questions, you can always have that person call the recipient and let you talk to them so that you can ask questions and make sure that you are notarizing and signing the documents the way that they need them to be done. Okay? And no, it doesn't mean that you would go against what is required by your state. But what I mean is you may have documents that don't have notary verbiage. And if you need to attach a loose certificate and the signer is not clear on, how they should answer that, you can ask the recipient to tell you. Okay. Statement. Let me see. Stephanie said, your journal can make or break your business. God forbid you are called to court and need it. Absolutely. She is absolutely right. All right, Ken. So let's see. I just passed the test. I'm in Utah, and my next step, start my business remote online notary. I'd like to know the company I should look into, how much approximately costs, where to get educated online. Now, I can answer one of those for you. All right. So as far as what companies you can look into, every platform has to get approved by the state to offer the RON platform to those notaries. So you need to look on your state and see if they have somewhere where there's a list of RON platforms that you are approved to use. Okay? Once you figure that out, then you have to research each one to see which one will fit your needs. Some of them have a pay per use. Some of them have a pay per month and pay per use. Some of them just have a pay per month. So you need to see which one works best for your budget. Okay. I have about 4 or 5 platforms that I use. Some are pay per use only. Some are pay per month and per use. And some are pay per month only. Okay. And why I chose so many is because depending on my client, they may have a specific one they want me to use. And so I will sign up for it so that I can make sure that I can assist them when they need a RON. All right. Now I will I want you to look on your site, your state website, to see if they have a list. If they don't, I'm going to give you a website that lists all of the platforms that a lot of clients will prefer you use, and then you can just do your research on those. Okay, so let me type it in. Hold on. It is compliant. Oh, wait, you know what? I'm going to go to my email. And you could even Google remote online notary platforms, and AI will, generate a list for you. So let me see. We're going to copy this link, and I'm going to share it in the chat for you. All right, so take a look at that website there, and they have a bunch of RON providers there that you can look into. All right, now your next one was, how much should you charge? Well, you need to see in your state guidelines, how much can you charge for online notary? Like here in Florida, we can charge up to $25. It doesn't mean that we have to charge $25. It just means that we can't charge more than that. And that will be per notarization. So for me, I charge $25 for the first stamp and then $10 or less for every additional stamp that I have to apply. Okay. I try to be really reasonable for my customers based on their budget and also based on the amount of work that I'm going to be doing. So it's not always a flat rate for me. It just depends on their needs. Okay. Sometimes I won't even charge the $25 per stamp. I'll charge less. And then where to get educated on RON. So I have a course. It's called eNotary and RON Basics. It is a fee for it. I think it's $9.99. You can take that course if you want, but before you do that, what I want you to do is look at the platform that you want to charge. Those platforms, they have training for how to use their platform that'll help you. But as far as knowing how to complete a remote online notarization, I do go over that in my course. So it's not platform specific like the platforms would have. Okay. And I think that was it. Did that help you out? Did that answer your questions, Ken? While I'm waiting for Ken, I'm going to go into my next question. So, do I need training to become a signing agent? No. Should you have training? Yes. Okay. And I think that's where people get confused. They just want to know, do I need this? Do I need that? There are a lot of things that you don't need or have to do. But there are some things that you do want to do simply because you want to make sure that you don't have any errors. You want to make sure that if you run into any situations, many of the training programs will cover this. Okay, we will cover different scenarios for you, and this will help to better prepare you for your signings. So, should you get training? Absolutely. I'll tell you, I remember when I first became a signing agent. Okay. Now I became a notary in July of 2020. I took Notary to Pro so that I can get some wait, you know what, even before that, let me not jump. So I became a notary in July 2020. That's when I got my commission. And my first signing that was real estate based was a loan modification. I was so nervous about doing that signing and about doing it the correct way. I had no idea on, what I needed to explain or how to explain it. And I got stuck because there were a couple of acknowledgments in there. One was the acknowledgement for the borrower, and one was the acknowledgement for the lender. And so, and this is self-explanatory, but to me, not knowing, I'm like, so am I notarizing both acknowledgments? Because the lender is not going to be there, I don't think. I think it's just going to be the borrower. And so I was so confused, right? I completed that one loan mod, and it even came with like a video where you can listen to the video. I listened to the video and I still was confused. And so I completed the notarization. I did it right. But when I tell you, I took no more real estate signings until I took training, because I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to, one, cause harm to the customer by not notarizing the documents correctly, and two, cause harm to myself by not notarizing the customer's documents correctly. Okay. Because you get so nervous knowing that a person can file a complaint on you. Okay. Your information is public record when you become commissioned as a notary. So it's not anything private. They know your commission number. They know when you were commissioned. Perfect, Ken. All right. I'm happy I was able to answer your questions, and thank you. And so after that, I signed up to Notary to Pro, and it's Carol Ray's course. She is no longer with us, unfortunately, but the course is still going strong, and it costs a little bit more to take it. But thank God that I did. After I took that course, I was way more confident in dealing with real estate transactions moving forward. And of course, there's information that I could have just trolled YouTube to find. I could have just trolled a whole bunch of videos, but I didn't want to do that. I don't have time to do that. So I paid the money. Okay. And that's what a lot of us end up just doing. So don't feel like your money is a waste. Okay. Do your research, of course. Do your research. Make sure that the person's course that you're going to be taking is somebody that you can learn from and who you feel is doing what you want to do in the notary world. Carol Ray had been a notary for years, and she also was a mortgage originator, I believe, a loan officer. Like, she just did a lot of different stuff, so she knew her stuff, and her program is nationally recognized. So I had no doubt that it was the right choice for me. So yeah, after doing that, I felt totally fine. It was worth the money. I made the money right back because now that I was confident, all of those real estate transactions that were coming my way, I was accepting them. Okay. And so I was able to get more confident, and here I am today, 5 years later. So yeah, do you need training? No. Should you take the training? Yes. Not unless you're coming from a background that deals with real estate. You probably don't need it, but I highly recommend it. All right. Now, my next question. How do I respond when clients question my fees? I love this one because customers, they seem to think that all you're doing is signing and stamping a document. I don't understand why I have to pay you this, and that. And so I just like to break it down to them like, well, for one, I know these documents and I know what needs to be done. Many times you will pay a notary, you will go to a bank, get the document notarized for free, only to find out that the notary didn't complete it correctly. So now you're going to end up having to go to another notary, waste time, and pay them a fee. My fees are based on what the state mandates. I can charge up to $10 per stamp, which is what I charge. And I charge travel as well. And my travel fee is based off the IRS rate, which you absolutely can Google. And if I have to print anything, if I have to scan or email, I am using my resources for that. And so there's also a fee for that. So everything that I have to do to ensure that you are getting top-notch white glove service, that is what I charge for. And after that, they really don't have any other problems. They'll pay it and they'll move on. So figure out how you want to tell them. And this is why it's important for you to be very transparent about your fees. Have them listed so that people know beforehand. All right. Your fees should never be a surprise, ever. Okay. My customers, when they call me, they can Google what I'm saying and see that I'm correct. Nothing that I tell them is made up. And furthermore, if they want to know my fees, I have a page dedicated for that. They can go right on my website and they can see, oh, okay, I will pay that, or I will find another notary. Totally up to them. I never feel bad when a customer decides that they don't want to use me for services based on my fees. Not at all. I'm not for everybody. Not everybody, not for me. Okay. All right. Let's see. It's a lot of questions, but I'm going to try to get through these, okay? So the next question. Can I notarize for family members? Hi, Michael. It's been a long time, my friend. Welcome. So some states actually allow it. I'm in Florida, and we cannot notarize for our children, for our spouses, or our parents. Can I notarize documents for my brother, my cousin, my auntie, my uncles? Yes, I can. But I need to make sure that I am not going to be any beneficiary to the transaction that's taking place. Okay, because you don't want to have a conflict of interest, and furthermore, we cannot notarize our own signatures. So you just want to be very careful when it comes to that. If you are in a state where you can notarize for those immediate family members that I mentioned that I cannot notarize for, pay attention to that. Okay, make sure you're not notarizing your own signature and make sure you're not a beneficiary to the transaction. Okay, so that was a quick one. Oh, yes, this one here. I just had to answer a question for this. What type of IDs are acceptable for notarization? So, government issue physical IDs. Okay, we're not taking copies of IDs, not unless you are in a state that will allow you to take a digital copy of a ID. Let's see. Charlotte says, is oath or acknowledgement needed for loan signing? Yes. Are you speaking about loose certificates, Charlotte? Because, oh, it's Charlotte. right, Charlotte? You're going to have some documents that have a jurat attached, and we know that with a jurat, we do need to administer an oath or an affirmation. And then you are going to have a lot of documents that just want you to sign the acknowledgement. So yes, you want to make sure that you keep loose certificates on you at all times, because sometimes you will need to add it to real estate documents as well. Okay, you're welcome, Charlotte. So yeah, government issued ID. Make sure the ID is not expired. Make sure the ID matches the person that gave it to you. Okay, because sometimes we just look at the name, we don't look at the picture. Make sure you look at the front and the back of the ID. Okay, don't just take an ID and just look at the front of it. And no, look at the front and the back. Feel the ID, feel the corners. Okay, make sure the information that's listed on there belongs to the person in front of you. All right, we shouldn't have a James Dickerson the third and all the documents say James Dickerson. Okay, we need the third, not unless they have a document in there saying that James Dickerson the third and James Dickerson are both the same person. Okay, which I have seen that, because for some reason people believe that after their parent passed away, there's no more second, so I don't have to put third on the end of my name. The first and the second both deceased, so I'm just the only James Dickerson. No, on your birth certificate, that's the name that they're going to put on the driver's license, or they should be anyway. So you are James Dickerson III. All right. We don't want paper copies of documents, passports, driver's license, state ID, military ID, permanent resident card. And some states can also take foreign IDs. So if the passport or driver's license is from Mexico or Canada, in Florida, we can take that. Some states can't. And then we have another type of identification process that's called credible witness. And so I'm in Florida. So for Florida, we can take one credible witness if I know them and the signer knows them. If not, two credible witnesses, and both of them have to know the signer. And those credible witnesses have to have valid ID. They can sign a sworn statement saying that they know the person to be who they say they are, and that unfortunately at the time they have no way to be able to get or obtain a valid ID. Okay, so that is the type of ID that's acceptable. Government issued IDs, guys. Credit cards, no. Social security cards, no. Birth certificates, no. Work IDs, no. But there's a caveat. If they are a government official, those ID cards, they have their name, their description, and their signature. But you want to make sure that you read your state guidelines to see if that's something that can be accepted. All right. Also, if you are doing signings for people who are incarcerated, there is a acceptable government issue ID that they have in there to identify the inmates that you can accept. Okay. But like I said, look at your state guidelines to see what type of government issue IDs are acceptable. But for the most part, the first list I gave you was mostly accepted. All right. Next question. Can I choose the certificate for the signer? No. No, you cannot. We cannot choose the type of notarization that we will perform for the signer's document if it is not evident. Now, if you got a document and you realize that it's an acknowledgement or a jurat, but maybe it's not enough room for you to put your seal or signature or anything, you add a loose certificate that matches the same notarization type that's already pre-printed on the document. Now, if you get a document and it has no notary verbiage, but the signer wants to have it notarized, you can still notarize it. In order for you to make it compliant, you do need to add a certificate. You're going to explain to your signer the ones that you can use, which is a jurat or acknowledgement. Explain the difference between the two. Once they choose, then that's the one that you would attach to the document. If there's enough room on the document, you can use a certificate stamp. I've showed you guys how that looks. They're big and bulky, but they have all of the certificate wording there. So if there's enough space on the document itself, you can apply this along with your notary stamp. If you do not have one of these, then you are going to have to attach a loose certificate and fill it out. Okay? And we always want to make sure, we always want to make sure if we are attaching a loose certificate that we write or stamp onto the document that does not have a certificate on it. See attached certificate or see attached notary acknowledgement, or however you want to say it. But make sure that the document indicates that you have attached another document to it so that the person who receives the document will know this was notarized. It just has a loose leaf attached to it. So no, we should not be choosing the notarization type or certificate we're going to attach. Okay, guys, if it wasn't one already evident or attached. Next question. What do I do with out-of-state documents? Some people believe that they can't notarize. I can only notarize documents from my state. That's not true. Okay, not unless it specifically says in your state guidelines, but for the most part, we can notarize all documents from any state, any country for the most part. So the ones that we notarize that are from another country, obviously they need to have to do with some type of business within the US. Okay, we don't want to be notarizing Europe documents for Europe use. They can go and see a notary or go to the consulate there. But the only thing you're going to do is make sure that the notarization is compliant for the state that you're commissioned. We're not going to be performing a notarization for that state because we're not commissioned in the state the document is from. So if you get the document and it has pre-printed the venue, then you're just going to correct it. You're going to line through the incorrect state and the incorrect county, and you're going to add your state and your county where you are notarizing at the time. Okay? And then you're going to proceed just like that. If it's not enough room for you to correct the document that's already there, the notary verbiage that's already there, then you're going to attach a loose certificate. You will put a line through the certificate that you're not using because you don't want to fill out both. Line through it, put your initials, and write see attached certificate, and attach your loose leaf, and go from there. Okay? All right, next question. I just got this question actually from one of my customers. Can I notarize a copy of a birth certificate? No. Okay. The majority of states do not allow you to notarize copies of vital records. Now, you do have some notaries who are in the hospital who notarize the birth record once it's received to record it, but in any event, that's their duty to do that. We are not to be notarizing any copies of vital records. Okay. The person, if they need a copy of their birth certificate, they can order another one on Vital Records, I think .com or something like that, and they'll just have another copy of a certified birth certificate. Okay, but we cannot notarize copies of those. Absolutely not. Now, my customer, their question was they need to get the birth certificate apostille and a passport apostille. Now, I can do the copy attestation for them for the passport, but I can't do it for the birth certificate. The birth certificate actually has to go to the Secretary of State. The original copy does in order for them to get an apostille. So I cannot notarize that. So they decided that they would mail it to me because they're in the military on water. So I guess they can't get it done. But so we're going to do it that way. They're going to mail me the copy, but for the copy attestation of the passport, I could do that online and print it out. So everything will be mailed to my courier there in Tallahassee. So that answers that. Next question. How do I fill out a pre-filled certificate? Well, first you want to make sure that the information they filled out is correct for what you're doing. Okay. Is the venue correct? If not, then correct it. Is the date correct? If not, correct it. Is if the person's name is pre-printed in the certificate wording, make sure that it's all people. Now, sometimes you may have a split signing where they'll have two people name printed in the certificate wording, but only one person is appearing before you. So all you're going to do is just line through the person who's not there. That's it. And when the second person gets to their notary, that notary would attach a loose certificate. Or if you are the second notary, you attach a loose certificate. The type of ID, which I get this all the time and I hate it. Sometimes they'll have it pre-printed on there that the person produced a driver's license. And then sometimes the person will produce a passport. And now I got to line through driver's license, put my initials, and put passport. I'm like, I wish I would just leave it. Just leave the certificate wording blank for me. Okay, have everything else. Let me fill in the date. Let me fill in the venue. Let me fill in the signer name. And let me fill in the ID type produced, please. Because at this point, it's just a big mess when I have to line through everything. But that's how you would fill it out, okay? If you got to make corrections, you make the corrections. The certificate wording, that is our part to do with what we need to do. You shouldn't be making any corrections in the documents itself, only the certificate wording, okay? Make sure it's compliant. Make sure it matches what's going on that day, time, and location, okay? If you have blank lines, you want to make sure that you're putting the signer's name in the right space because we get this a lot. You may have the foregoing instrument was acknowledged before me. It'll have a blank line, comma, notary public. Do not put the signer's name there. Your name goes there. That's why it says notary public after that. And then it'll say on this date by blank. That's where the signer's name goes. All right. So make sure that you're reading your certificate wording so that you're not putting your name there or the signer name there in the wrong places. Okay. Next question. When and how do I administer an oath? So the only time you're administering an oath is if you have a jurat or a sworn statement there. Okay. If we have a jurat or a sworn statement, then we know that we need to administer an oath to make that notarization complete. Okay. And it's a simple statement. You can ask them to answer your question with I swear or I affirm. Explain to them swearing is to God. Affirm is on your own honor. So here's my question. Do you swear or affirm that the information in the document is true to the best of your knowledge? They'll say I swear or I affirm, or some of them will just say yeah. All right, there you go. Oath administered. All right, that's it. All right, I got the last 3 questions, y'all. All right, how do I market myself as a notary? Well, there's not just one way to do it. You have several different ways, and you should try all of them to see which one works for you, because that's what I did. I tried all methods, and I only stuck with what works for me. So you can advertise online. You can do paid ads or you can do free ads. Free ads will be anything that you put on like your Google profile or like your social media pages like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, or whatever. Paid, though, you could do paid ads on Instagram and Facebook. I believe LinkedIn as well, and Google. All right, a lot of people do paid ads on Google, and depending on how you design your ad and the words that you use, those can be very, very beneficial. Every once in a while, I'll do a paid ad and I'll run it for a month, and I'll get good feedback, with the help of ChatGPT, of course. But I remember when I did my very first ad, I got little to nothing from that. And it was because I just didn't use the right words. I didn't use the right pictures. And that definitely makes a difference. You could also do in-person marketing where you would go to the different places that are, that sometimes need a notary. So you can go to assisted living places, You can go to nursing homes. You can go to real estate offices, title offices, escrow office, mortgage office. Who else would need you? Schools need you. Jails sometimes, if they don't have their own in-house. HOA. I mean, there's a lot of different places that need to have things notarized. Bail bonds. A lot of times they'll have a notary in the office for bail bonds, though. I only had one that used me for a few, and then they stopped using me, so I was assuming maybe they got somebody who could be in house there. But the sky's the limit on where you can do. And then let's not forget word of mouth. When you finally start getting customers, ask them to leave you a review. Reviews help you get customers because customers want to see that other people were satisfied with the services you provide. So ask for those reviews, get word of mouth when you work with people, get your family to tell people you're a notary. Okay. Word of mouth still works. You can leave your business cards in different places. I created a flyer that you can leave at stores because some of the stores do allow you to put up flyers with the tear-offs. Oh, what's that? You could put one of these up at those stores. Person could tear off your number and call you when they need you. So you could do that. Leave your business cards and flyers, different places. Networking events. I love networking events for that because you get the opportunity to meet with people and build a relationship with them. You sit and talk with them. You guys have some drinks. You have some food. And people remember that. People will remember you. When people sit down to eat with people, they don't forget that. Christmas is going to be coming up. So a lot of people are going to be having company Christmas parties, and they're going to be inviting you because they're going to be probably donating the proceeds to a cause. A lot of people do Toys for Tots. I like to go to those places because I'll buy a toy, I'll leave it, and I get to mix and mingle with the people. Some events are free, some are paid. I even sometimes get invited to events from some of my clients that I work with. But Christmas parties are a good turnout. I have a long-lasting client because of that, and I met with them 2 years ago. And they always, whenever they need a notary or if they know someone needs a notary, they always shout my name out. So definitely don't sleep on the networking events and parties and stuff like that. So that's the marketing. Okay. It's a lot of work, but it pays off because, like for me, I've done so much networking that now my schedule has gotten to the point where I don't have the time to go, which I kind of hate it because I love getting out and meeting people. But whenever I find time, I try to fit it into my schedule. With my calendar being public, my clients and customers are able to book me. So sometimes I have to, if I know it's a future event, I have to block out that time so they don't book me. And that's literally the only way I can get a chance to go to events. So I stay pretty busy now, but I did a lot of work to get to this point. So that's what you guys got to do. All right. Next question. What's the best way to start an online or mobile notary business? The best way to go about that is by doing your research. Okay. You want to do the research on what you can and cannot do in your area. You want to look and see what other notaries are doing in your area. How many mobile notaries do you have around you? How many notaries do you have nearby that are doing online? And what are they doing? Okay, you can literally just go on their Google page. You can go to their Facebook page sometime if they have one. You can even go to their website and just do some research. Other businesses do it all the time. When a Walmart and a Target decide to go and open up a store in the same city, they do their research on each other to see, what the other person's doing and everything like that. And this is just so that you can have a competitive edge, in your area. What can you offer that other people are not offering? Or can you maybe make your prices be more reasonable than the next person, and etc. Okay. So that's really the best way to go about it. and making sure that you're able to educate customers more than anything, because customers like to meet people who they perceive to know what they are doing. I have people who prefer to come to me all the time because they just know that I know what I'm looking at, and they know that I can tell them what I'm doing and how I'm doing it and why. Okay. And the last question: how do I deal with admin issues? So, admin issues is anything on the back end, okay? Time management, how to get appointments so you don't miss them, answering the phone, um, updating your bookkeeping. Like for me, remembering to reconcile. We're in a new month now, so I had to reconcile everything from last month, which was good because I stayed up on it. But if you are not a person who is able to stay up on it, you got to take out time to do that back end work, because that back end work is what's going to help you in the front end. So if you don't have anything working efficiently for you in the back end, your front end is going to look all discombobulated. Okay. So whether you take out the time to do it, or if you have the resources to pay somebody to do it, it has to be done. Okay. You need to have a calendar to keep track of appointments, because customers are going to call you once you put yourself out there, and they're going to know if you're available so they can come and get their documents notarized. Or if it's a client, they want to know you're available. And then they're going to want to know, where can you go? Where don't you go? I get that too. They'll say, hey, I got a signing in this area. And sometimes I have to say, not my service area, I'm sorry. And then the next question will be, well, do you know someone in that area? Yes, I do. Here's a phone number. Thank you. Okay. And this is why it's important for you to have a list of notaries in different areas, because if you do get a phone call and you cannot service the person, you should be able to give them someone else who you know will take care of them. Okay. Trust me, you're not giving business away. If anything, you are helping them to get business done, and they're going to remember you for that. Okay. Everybody needs to have more than one notary. For example, me, I've been on vacation more times than I can count this year, and I'm going to be taking another one. So when I'm gone, they need somebody else if they can't wait for me to come back. So you need to have a list of notaries that you can rely on. I get referred by other notaries all the time, and I refer people to notaries all the time, because we're all working together. We're all one big community. Customers need documents notarized around the clock, and I can't be in all places at the same time. Okay. Whew, I got through it. 18 questions. My goodness. So what do you guys think? Did you have any questions? Did you have any questions that I didn't discuss that you may have saw in a Facebook group? I would love to answer it for you. Or do any of you have any answers that you could add to any of the questions that I covered? Please drop them down in the comments. I would love to see it. Woo, that took the breath out of me. My goodness. I'm tired of talking already. But I like to go over these questions because you get them in these Facebook groups all the time. And like I said, you have every single person dropping down what they think you should do and how you ain't doing this right. And this is why you making it bad for the other notaries. I'm looking like they just asked a question. What are we doing? Like, good grief. That's why I'm not in a lot of those Facebook groups. I have my own Facebook group. It's the Notary Education. Notary Education Group Support for Notaries. Okay. And I'm really just there, and even sometimes I don't get all of those notifications, but I do have my other people for the Notary Education Group that monitors for me. You may know them, Stephanie and Ayana. They are also members of the Notary Education Group. So they try to help out when they are not busy. We're all kind of busy running our notary businesses. But if you guys don't have any questions, I'm done and I'm tired. So you guys, thank you so much for tuning in and coming back to the channel. I always appreciate you guys for showing your support, because without you guys, I wouldn't have a reason to do this at all. So thank you. You guys have a wonderful week ahead. Good night, Michael. Thanks for joining us tonight. And I will talk to you guys again next Sunday. If you have anything you want me to talk about, please let me know, just like Ken did. And Ken, maybe on our next video, I could talk about all things Ron. How'd you guys like that? So let me know. And I'll talk to you guys later. Good night.